Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm Dr. Sandip Parekh, a professor at Parul Institute of Physiotherapy and Research, Parul University. I hold a PhD and an MPT in musculoskeletal and sports physiotherapy. Today, I'm excited to share insights on how you can unlock your full potential and achieve academic success through proven strategies. Our focus will be on mastering exam readiness with a strategic approach to help you ace your exams. Over the next few slides, we'll explore practical tips and techniques to prepare effectively and boost your confidence. Let's get started. As we look at this slide, I want to highlight how traditional study methods can often lead to burnout and decreased performance. When students or learners spend long hours studying without effective techniques, it can create a lot of stress. This high stress not only affects mental health, but also makes it harder to retain information. You might find that after memorizing material, you forget it quite soon afterward. That's known as poor retention. It's a common problem when studying isn't efficient, and it leads to wasted hours spent on unproductive learning. Spending long hours without seeing real progress can be discouraging and counterproductive. That's why, in this presentation, I want to emphasize the need for smarter techniques, methods that make your study time more effective and sustainable. Traditional methods often fall short because they focus on sheer hours rather than quality. So, the key takeaway here is that we need to rethink how we approach learning to avoid these pitfalls and truly improve our results. Today, I want to highlight a holistic approach that combines several key elements for success. First, we have strategic planning, which provides a clear direction and sets the foundation for everything else. Then, active engagement is crucial. It's about staying involved and committed throughout the process. Lastly, continuous self-assessment helps us stay on track, make adjustments, and improve along the way. This approach is encapsulated in what we call the Odyssey method. Think of it as charting your course through a journey. It's about integrating review, execution, preparation, and planning into a seamless process. By doing so, you create a comprehensive coverage that ensures nothing is overlooked. Remember, success isn't just about having a plan. It's about executing it thoughtfully, preparing for obstacles, and constantly reviewing your progress. This interconnected approach helps you navigate your goals more effectively, turning your vision into reality. All right, let's talk about how to maximize your score potential. First, it's important to focus on the core concepts that are fundamental to understanding the subject. By honing in on these key ideas, you'll build a solid foundation for success. Next, I recommend analyzing past papers to identify patterns and frequently tested topics. This will give you a clear idea of where to concentrate your efforts. Remember, about 80% of your results often come from just 20% of your efforts. That means you should prioritize topics that carry the most weight in your exams. This is where the Pareto principle, or the 80-20 rule, really comes into play, focusing on high-impact study areas that can significantly boost your performance. In essence, by concentrating on these crucial topics and understanding what's most likely to come up, you make your study time much more effective. It's all about working smarter, not just harder, to achieve the best possible results. All right, so after completing 4 focus cycles, it's important to take a longer break, anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. This longer pause helps you recharge both mentally and physically, so you're ready for the next set of productive study sessions. Remember, the core idea here is completing 4 Pomodoros, which are these focused study and break cycles. Once you finish those 4 cycles, you step back for a longer break. This process is typically repeated 4 times throughout your study session, ensuring you maintain high levels of focus without burning out. Now, in between these longer segments, it's also recommended to take short, 5-minute breaks. These quick pauses help you recharge briefly, keeping your energy up and your concentration sharp. During your focused work sessions, these 25-minute intervals, you want to set a timer and dedicate that time solely to intense, distraction-free study. Turn off notifications, close unrelated tabs, really immerse yourself in the task. So, to sum up, the Pomodoro technique is all about working in short, focused bursts. These intervals boost your productivity, while the breaks prevent fatigue, helping you sustain focus over longer periods. It's a simple yet powerful way to stay engaged and make the most of your study time. Let's talk about the importance of setting strict deadlines for our tasks. When we establish clear time limits, it really boosts our efficiency and helps us avoid procrastination. It's human nature to let tasks expand to fill the time we give them, which is where Parkinson's law comes in. To combat this, I recommend breaking down large projects into smaller, manageable chunks, each with its own deadline. This way, we stay focused and motivated, making steady progress without feeling overwhelmed. Remember, effective time management isn't just about working harder, but working smarter by keeping ourselves accountable and on schedule. Now, let's look at how active recall actually strengthens our neural pathways. When we actively retrieve information, we're essentially reinforcing those connections in our brain, which makes it faster and easier to access that information later. This process improves both the speed and accuracy of our memory retrieval. A great way to do this is by working through problems or explaining concepts in your own words. When you try to teach or articulate what you've learned, you're engaging with the material on a deeper level, which helps solidify it in your memory. Another powerful technique is using flashcards, either digital or physical, for spaced repetition. This means reviewing the cards at increasing intervals to keep the information fresh and prevent forgetting. Finally, it's important to actively test yourself without looking at notes. This practice forces your brain to recall information independently, which is the core of active recall. All of these strategies work together to supercharge your memory and retention, making your learning more effective and efficient. Let's take a moment to revisit the material and reinforce what we've learned. Think of this as a quick review to solidify your understanding. Next, we want to summarize what you've just read aloud, which helps with retention and clarity. Reciting the key points aloud makes the information more memorable and engages your active learning process. Then, we move on to active reading. This means reading with a purpose, specifically to answer questions you formulate beforehand. This keeps your mind engaged and focused on extracting meaningful insights. Speaking of questions, the next step is to formulate these questions based on the survey or the material you've been reviewing. Asking the right questions drives deeper understanding and guides your reading. Finally, we scan headings, introductions, and summaries. These are strategic points to gather the main ideas quickly and efficiently. This approach is part of the SQ3R method, which stands for survey, question, read, recite, and review. By applying this method, you're not just passively reading, but actively engaging with the material to achieve a deeper, more effective understanding. It's a powerful way to enhance your learning process and make your study sessions more productive. Now, let's talk about how to create a truly powerful and personalized study plan by integrating these methods. When you combine principles like Pareto, Pomodoro, active recall, and SQ3R, each one enhances the effectiveness of the others. For example, using the Pareto principle, you focus on the 20% of the material that will give you 80% of the results, making your study sessions more efficient. Then, applying the Pomodoro technique helps you stay focused and avoid burnout by breaking study time into manageable intervals. Meanwhile, active recall ensures you're actively engaging with the material, which significantly boosts retention. And the SQ3R method, survey, question, read, recite, review, guides you through a structured approach to understanding and mastering your content. When you start to synergize these strategies, you create a tailored, dynamic approach that maximizes your performance. Think of it as combining the best tools to unlock your full potential, making your study sessions not just efficient, but also more effective and enjoyable. This integrated approach really embodies the theme of peak performance, working smarter, not just harder. All right, let's wrap up with our final slide, which is all about planning your Odyssey. To master your exam preparation, I recommend leveraging active recall and the SQ3R method. These techniques help reinforce your memory and deepen understanding, making your study sessions more effective. Next, optimize your time using Parkinson's law, which suggests that work expands to fill the time available. So, setting strict deadlines can improve your focus and productivity. Speaking of focus, the Pomodoro technique is a great way to break study time into manageable intervals, keeping you fresh and engaged. Then, prioritize your tasks with the Pareto principle, or the 80-20 rule, focusing on the 20% of activities that will give you 80% of the results. Finally, remember that this toolkit, these strategies, are your key takeaways and immediate actions to boost your exam readiness. They're designed to help you study smarter, not harder, and ensure you're fully prepared when the big day arrives.